Hello and welcome. This is Nigeria Today. We begin with politics. The All Progressives Congress has now released a list of its subcommittees chairpersons for the special convention to elect its candidate for the 2023 elections. The National Publicity Secretary of the party, Felix Morka, released the list of the 18 committees earlier today. The list has several governors, excluding those running for the presidential ticket of the party. Governor Gombe State Mohammed Yahaya will chair the Committee on Budget, while the Minister of Finance, Budget and Planning, Zainab Ahmed, will co-chair the committee. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu was listed as chairman of the Committee on Finance, while Governor Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State is to chair Accreditation and Decoration Committee. Also, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State and Abdulrahman Dambaza, former Minister of Interior, are to chair the Committee on Security and Compliance. Election Planning Committee is to be chaired by Governor Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi State and Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State. Governor Abdullahi Ganduje of Kano State will head the Transportation Committee. Others are Governor Babangida Zulum for Accommodation, Media and Publicity Committee, Governor Abdullahi Sule. Chris Ngige will chair the Committee on Medical, and the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami is in charge of legal matters. The special convention for the APC presidential primary is scheduled for 6th to 8th of June 2022. On his consultation visit ahead of the All Progressives Congress presidential primary, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has arrived at Abeokuta to meet with APC delegates in Ogun State. Asiwaju was received by Governor of Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun, and other APC delegates in the state. Governors of Lagos and Kano accompanied the APC aspirant to Abeokuta to meet with delegates. We'll bring you details of that visit subsequently. Earlier, delegates and members of the APC in Oyo assured the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Tinubu, of their unflinching support in the forthcoming presidential primary. They gave the assurance when he visited the state's APC delegates in Ibadan. Olaide Oyewole reports.
The visit of the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, to the Pacesetter state is to seek the support of the state delegates to win the party's presidential ticket. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, who was accompanied by the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Ganduje, and other notable dignitaries, was given a warm reception by the crowd of supporters. While soliciting their support and votes from the delegates, Asiwaju Tinubu also appealed for reconciliation within the party in the state. He says with true resolution, the party can attain victory come 2023. The Oyo chapter of the All Progressives Congress has a total of 99 delegates, some of who believe that the presidential aspirant has the wealth of experience to take the country to the promised land.
If Asiwaju giving us mandate, or if Asiwaju giving us an opportunity that we should put in his mandate, we have no problem. So we are in support to assist him to be the president of Nigeria.
And he has been able to make a great mark in the development of politics for your state. We can never forget Tinubu when he talked about democracy in 1999. You recollect that he was mentioning Lamadeshina, mentioning Bolage, mentioning all the governors. He is the father of politics in your state.
He is the expected person to be there. He has been the governor of Lagos State, and they have been in that government, and they have been achieving the results.
The visit is coming days after the APC Presidential Screening Committee cleared Asiwaju Bola Tinubu to contest at the presidential primary on the 6th of June. Olaide Oyewole, TVC News, Ibadan.
And members of the Southwest Agenda for Shiwaji Swaga 2023 in Ondo State have now called on delegates across the country to ensure that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu emerges as the presidential flag bearer of the APC in 2023. Speaking at the meeting in Akure, the Ondo State capital, a leader of the party, Akindele Adeniyi, said all delegates should vote for Asiwaju Tinubu, who is the best material in APC. According to him, the national leader is physically and mentally fit to govern Nigeria and provide purposeful leadership. Also speaking, the state coordinator of Swaga, Ifedayo Abegunde, said the experience of Asiwaju Tinubu politically and in the business world stands with him.
Presidency, that they should vote for Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu. We are with him, we are for him, we'll be with him, we'll continue to be with him.
He has done the job. He has gone around the whole of the nation campaign. One thing they were trying to use against him was that it's not well. That is not well. But when they now saw him traversing the whole of Nigeria, have you ever had anybody talking about Asiwaju not being fit again? He is fit. He's fit physically, he's fit mentally.
We'll be back with political stories. In the meantime, the Multinational Joint Task Force is hoping for a strong collaboration between the locals and troops, and that this will bring an end to the insurgency bedeviling the Lake Chad. Force Commander JTF Major General Abdul Khalifa Ibrahim made this assertion while briefing the press on activities of the task force in Chad Republic. Jesse Tafida has more.
The Lake Chad region has been a major battleground of the 12-year insurgency. The region, which straddles Nigeria, Niger, Chad and Cameroon, has been the hotbed of insurgents over the years. But the Multinational Joint Task Force has adopted different strategies in its counter-insurgency operations, which have led to relative peace in the region. Today, the first commander of the MNJTF, Major General Abdul Khalifa Ibrahim, briefs the press on the gains of their operations.
We have carried out series of operations in the past. Operation Gamma Aiki, Operation Amni Fakat, Operation Sharon Foige, and others. So that gave us impetus to go where we have not been able to go before. We kill the criminals. Coordination with the air is better. The fact that we are doing this has allowed freedom of movement. It has allowed commerce to pick up. It has allowed people to be resettled back to their areas. It has allowed communities to become resilient.
With the ongoing Operation Lake Sanity, the MNJTF has carried out 17 major attacks, destroying many terrorist enclaves, killing 805 terrorists, and over 4,000 surrendering.
Counter-insurgency operations are people-centric because we are actually fighting an enemy that, yes, sometimes they wear something that looks like uniform. We have to be close to the locals.
Major General Abdul Khalifa Ibrahim warns those still collaborating with terrorists to stop, as the task force will not spare anyone found wanting. The Multinational Joint Task Force has affirmed its commitment to continue to deal decisively with insurgents so as to rid the region of insurgency, which will no doubt pave way for economic activities to thrive. From the headquarters of the Multinational Joint Task Force, Jesse Tafida, TVC News, Jamaica.
The Inspector General has now called on field commanders to build up resilience to tackle more security threats that would emerge in the run-up to the general elections in 2023. Usman Akali says an interim measure has now been put in place to improve security on the Abuja-Kaduna highway. Sifon Isian has more.
The security challenges in the country pose grave concerns to the police authorities, whose strategies are being evolved. Making the Abuja-Kaduna highway safer for users has been a sticking point in the wake of recent attacks by gunmen. This meeting, convened by the Inspector General of Police, is meant to take a look at the challenges and what has been achieved.
In the interim, Aside upscaling our patrol operations along the highway, we have deployed our air assets for surveillance in support of the ground troops. In addition, we have reinvigorated our safer highway patrols with the injection of more patrol vehicles and personnel across the country.
Beyond this, the force is seeking a lasting solution to security challenges that have made the northwest of the country increasingly unsafe.
The Nigeria Police collaborating effectively with the military, Department of State Services, the Ministry of Transport, and the Nigerian Railway Corporations towards evolving a resilient security architecture that will address the current threats on a sustainable basis.
But there are indications of even more challenges ahead. The police chief also said that there will be more security threats in the run-up to the general elections, but with resilient actions, they will be tackled. Sifon ACN TVC News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, the National Youth Service Corps is set to review the critical components of its orientation course content, which is to address the prevailing challenges in Nigeria. The Director General of the scheme disclosed this at the 2022 Batch B Pre-Orientation Course Workshop in Abuja. Helen Osamide Akins reports.
The world, they say, is constantly evolving, and there is need for humans to adapt to the changes. This is why there is need to review the courses taught in the NYSC orientation camps for corps members to meet current realities. This workshop draws directors from different zones of the scheme to Abuja to review the courses. In the course of the workshop, participants will review the previous orientation exercises, especially the challenges encountered, as well as the best practices to enable them improve on the forthcoming ones.
The choice of the theme of the orientation course, that is repositioning the critical components of orientation course content to address prevailing challenges too, because there was one before this, the second one, and that shows our determination to address identified challenges and adopt the best practice in a bid to make the exercise more impactful.
This workshop is organized in preparations for the forthcoming 2022 Batch B Streams 1 and 2 orientation courses. Resource persons. This is with a view to enriching the workshop content and to broaden the scope of our discussions.
At the end of the workshop, far-reaching resolutions that will guide the execution of the forthcoming orientation course would be agreed upon.
We'll take a break now and return with more stories. Stay with us. You're watching Nigeria Today. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has released the suspended Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, on bail. Mr. Idris was arrested after failing to honor the Commission's invitations to respond to issues connected to the fraudulent act to the tune of 80 billion naira. After his arrest, Mr. Idris was suspended by the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed. The suspension was contained in a letter by the minister stating that the move was necessitated by the need to allow for proper and unhindered investigation into the serious allegations. And the Minister of Women Affairs is not comfortable with the sharp increase in reports of gender-based violence across the country. She described it as traumatizing and worrisome. She stated that at the inauguration of committees for call to action on protection from gender-based violence in emergencies held in Abuja. Moyo Thomas was there.
Nigeria is one of the countries with prevalent cases of gender-based violence. This is so pronounced that it has attracted scrutiny and condemnation from not just international agencies, but also the federal government. Despite all efforts to put an end to these inhumane acts, lack of justice has made the progress very slow. This has also necessitated an increased push for justice for survivors of sexual and gender-based violence, while ensuring some level of normalcy for survivors. This is what led to the call for action on protection from gender-based violence in emergencies, strategic and technical task team being inaugurated.
When you come to hold
the call to action partners include states, international donors, and NGOs.
The key in ending gender-based violence is with the leadership of this country. Our commitment as UN is to support the leadership of this country in showing leadership and not just declaring an emergency around this issue, but doing something to end it.
What we are seeing is sustained political commitment and a political will to actually change the situation for any forms of, to end any form of gender-based violence in Nigeria.
It will be particularly important to establish this framework of accountability where we talk about what activities partners they have undertaken and what kind of results have been delivered, and we commit ourselves on a running basis to increase the impact of the work we're doing in Nigeria.
We are demanding for justice for all the millions of cases that are lying fallow. People cannot just rape innocent young children, both boys and girls, and go scot-free. All the cases you are all aware, Kano, Benin, name it, they are all over.
The strategic task team will support the collective effort of stakeholders in delivering critical GBV response, prevention and risk mitigation services in the Northeast. The obligation to survivors of gender-based violence is a collective effort requiring everyone to act in order to help end this menace, and this is the call that has been made today. Moya Thomas, TVC News, Abuja.
Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu has now flagged off the distribution of newly digitized certificates of occupancies to some residents of the state. Governor Akeredolu explained that property owners in the state can use the certificates of occupancy as collateral in financial transactions after granting of the titles. Ayodeji Moradio has details.
This is a flag-off ceremony for distribution of title documents to residents of Ondo State under the Home Ownership Chartered Scheme.
This is a tradition I found there. It's good.
At the event, the state's Governor Rotimi Akeredolu said certificates of occupancy will boost the economic activities of the people through business transactions with financial institutions. He noted that the program is aimed at ensuring transparency, fast-tracking and repositioning of land administration in the state. The governor added that the new policy for issuance of certificates of occupancy has a mandate of transforming the process of land titling from analog to digital system.
Single sheet, but both front and back. And I can show you, this is what you have as a CFO. And the survey plan that used to spread is just here. The only thing here is that you have to be very careful.
Earlier, the State Commissioner for Infrastructure, Lands and Housing, Raimi Aminu, said the title documents confer all property owners the legal right to their land.
State government, through our ministry, was determined to adopt a course that will involve a good functional document. This process involved the most inspiring design and technology input. We learned from each other, refined our plans until we came up with this ingenious new certificate of occupancy.
The State Commissioner for Finance, Walde Akitarewa, explained the opportunities inherent in the policy.
Some people spend their life savings building a house, but they don't have title. So they cannot expand their business. They need capital. They need to inject fresh capital to expand their business or start new businesses. Today, I'm sure the banks are here.
With this development, residents of the state can now obtain title documents within 30 days once necessary papers have been filed. Ayodeji Moradio, TVC News, Akure.
In politics, the Young Progressive Party in Kwara State says it will produce the next governor of the state, and to achieve that goal in the forthcoming election, the party says it's re-strategizing to make it happen. Ibrahim Malege reports.
The Young Progressive Party is one of the political parties heavily touted to be the third force in the Kwara State political equation. It is seen as an alternative to the ruling All Progressives Congress and the opposition People's Democratic Party. And the party is not resting on its tours to attract notable politicians into its fold.
Let me use this opportunity to plead to the people
like Alhaji Yakubu Gobiri called across the 3 senatorial in the state to kindly come out and join this great party, YPP. Let us work together to salvage the state together.
Gentlemen, press. The latest is Waziri Yakub Gobiri, one of the Kwara State APC gubernatorial candidates in 2019.
It is a need to be on the right side of history that explains my decision to leave the All Progressives Congress and to deploy all my resources and God-given talents to build a platform for young men and women to express themselves, to vote and to be voted for, and more importantly, to take charge of their own destiny. That platform is the Young Progressives Party.
His defection from the APC was long expected, having fallen out with the party and Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak. Now, he's equally planning to give the governorship race another shot.
After deep reflection, prayers, and consultation, I have decided to offer myself in the service of the good people of Kwara by vying for the office of Governor of Kwara State on this great platform of Young Progressives.
The YPP in Kwara State is expected to hold its governorship primary election this Saturday. Ibrahim Alige, TVC News, Ilorin.